Hello everyone and welcome to the tutorial of Calysto Smart Scatter. So in order to use the tool, first we'll need to enable the required plugin. So you have to go inside plugin, look for PCG. You'll need both the procedural content generation framework and the content generation framework geometry script. You'll need the scriptable tool editor mode and the tool framework. Once this is done, and after you restart Unreal, you can go into the edit mode, project setting, the scriptable tool mode, and then you can use the legacy palette and then set as default. This will give you the same visual as you will have on my end, like this, with this small icon. Now that this is done, we can explore the demo scene. So we can just go inside Calysto, scatter, demo, go into the demo scene, and you'll have almost the same thing as the capsule art that represents the tool. So this is just a quick example. It's a simple object that just scatter around. So if I just delete this one, so you see you have less detail, and then I remove this one, and then all I have are just some simple rock that I've placed myself like this. So let's say I want to have the same shape as before. I can go into the scriptable tool, radius. This is what I want to detect everything. And then if I use the middle mouse and scroll down or up, I can change the scale. So I can just click one time right here and it starts to spawning some stuff. I can do it another time here. And you see you have multiple functions like sphere out. So this is going from the center of the sphere and it's pointing outside to scatter stuff, but you can do the opposite and go to sphere in, which means you create a sphere, but it's scattered inward. So it's nice if you want, for example, to add some detail on a house. So you want to scatter inward instead of. So I just go sphere in for this one, and then just go another one like this to add more detail. And that's it. I've created mostly the same shape as I had with the capsule art. There's many options. So you can see there, you have the radius, which you can control with the middle mouse, the density. One that's very important is the point count. So if you think that the tool is a bit too slow, you want to gain some speed or something like that, you can reduce this number and this will increase the speed of the loading time, because every time you move the mouse, it will recalculate everything. So you can always go less dense and then click multiple times instead. There's this jitter, so it adds some randomization inside the tool. So if you don't want something to feel too perfect, you can increase this number and it will add some chaos in it. The demo comes with a few examples. So in this example, this is again the sphere going in. The goal is to create some sort of sphere and then it's scattered inside to give you this kind of effect. So I think it's really nice. And then this other example is the same thing, but this time we're going out. And also once this is spawned, you can always modify it again. So change the radius, the point count, density, and so on. It's up to you. We also have the spline. So it's the exact same thing, but instead of just doing a sphere, you can go into scriptable tool and then just draw again another spline to get some similar result in a few seconds. And finally, you have those grid example. So it's mostly the same thing in both cases, but you can control the if you want something perfect or some random with the jitter like this. So this adds more chaos, or you can increase the number of rows. And you can scale it if you want them to take more space and so on. So you really have full control. And finally, you can also create some volume that tells to not spawn inside one area. If I go into the object for this, it's right there. All I need to do is to add a tag. Okay, this one. So this is just a simple box. And then I had one tag on it. No scatter, and then the tool will automatically see it to not scatter anything in it. And finally, you can use the tool to also spawn some blueprint. So in this example, I use it to spawn a bunch of decals in the world. You can also spawn on the walls and so on. Like all my tool, I use a database approach to control everything. So if I go inside this one, you can see here there's a DA demo vegetation. If I open it, you can see all the setting to control how everything will be spawned. So the name is just for you to help remind what everything is what. You can add multiple mesh in there, and then you have multiple control like the scale, rotation for looking up, and cluster strength to add some noise density. And finally, you have here a new setting that is the how you want it to be spawned. So you have three choice: CPU with collision, CPU without collision, or on the GPU directly. Just a small reminder, if you want it to see it on the GPU, it will only works at runtime. If I take, for example, I want my grass. Okay, so if I want to switch that grass to the GPU, I can just go GPU no collision. So creating a new data set is relatively simple. All you have to do is to go inside your content browser, right click, and then type data, and you see those data assets. So all you have to do is to click to type PDA or just Calysto, and then you have this PDA Calysto scatter. Click on it, and then if you open it, you can see there the mesh or the blueprint that you want to spawn with all the setting that you want. So I hope you like it. It's relatively a simple tool to use, but there's a lot of work behind. Feel free to come and join us on Discord if you have some question. There's also the documentation with all the additional detail, and the tool works seamlessly with all the other Calysto tools. So yeah, thank you and have a great day.